Hi YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer Evelyn. Today we're going to be reviewing episode 11 of the Korean drama series Dr. Cha. So if you want explanations of what the series is about, please look at the thumbnail here, see from my playlist. So to cut to the chase, Dr. Cha has finally found out about her husband's affair, and with the conclusion of episode 10, she now found out the devastating truth that he fathered the child with his mistress, the girlfriend. So now episode 11 is she had enough. She's on the edge to realize that her whole family knew about the matter except for her, and she's not happy about the situation because in episode 10, the daughter of Dr. Cha knows about the half-sister because they were in the same art academy and they had a fight which caused the mistress's daughter to have an injured arm and have both Dr. Cha's husband and the woman go to see about the other girl, so she learns that devastating truth. And that sets her off. She goes to the office of the mistress of Cho So-hee and tells her. No, actually she goes and disrupts a meeting with other doctors and she says, oh, I need to see Dr. So-and-so. And she says in the middle, like obviously confused, wait for me when the meeting's finished if it's not something urgent. And she says it is urgent, and then she looks the other woman in the eyes and says, we can talk outside or we can talk here. And she knows, the mistress knows that they finally found out, because when they go back to Dr. Cho So-hee's office, Dr. Cha goes and says, call him. And she's like, what? Call him, and then she says the husband's name, So In-ho, and then she knows it's all up, it's all over. The confusing part of episode 11 is the conflicting messages. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, I don't know like what's Korea's stance with divorce, but they were giving Dr. Cha, even her closest friends, you know, that's life, you just have to get on with it. Sometimes, you know, pretend things are okay, and they're making it look like it's through her getting divorced. And well, I get it that if Dr. Cha were to divorce, she would have to essentially start again, and you know, she basically had nothing to her name. So therefore I can see why she's getting these conflicting messages saying, you know, imagine if this could make you even more unhappy being divorced, because they're also kind of indicating whether Dr. Cha is going to forgive her husband. There's no, in this episode, there's no forgiveness, and the confusion with the husband, now that everybody knows, the husband gets interrogated by his mom and his other two kids saying, you know, make up your mind. And the husband tries to squirm his way, even though he's been exposed essentially for being a liar and a cheat, he still manages to try to manipulate his way. He tries to gaslight his wife saying, why are you moving out from the house? How does that look? Can you not think about any other people? And by all means, Dr. tries to tell her husband, what right have you got to tell me about me like leaving the house? Because the main bit in episode 11, after everybody finds out virtually everything, the medical dorms where Dr. Cha and the other doctors are sleeping, there was a short circuit and the place, you know, catches fire, smoke was going about, and Dr. Cha was feeling a little bit sick because she got caught in the rain with her son's girlfriend, and she didn't hear the alarms go off, only thing was smoke was going off, and conveniently Dr. Roy Kim was running, doing a jog around the block when he sees all these medical doctors, students, whatever, coming out from the building, and he asks, you know, what the heck is going on? And one of the doctors said, oh, it's been a fire alarm went off. So Dr. Roy goes and he knows that Dr. Cha's sleeping in there, so he goes and runs to the floor to find her, to knock on the door. However, at the same time, Dr. Cha's husband is in surgery and she gets told by another doctor, he gets told by another doctor about the whole fire situation, and then he goes running. In some level, I think he does care about his wife, but then again, maybe if he didn't go feel like to save her, now he'll look even more bad, because of course episode 1 he didn't donate his liver. That could have been the biggest indication. So I don't know whether he wants to repent for that missed opportunity, but it doesn't work. He couldn't even make it past the ground floor. So instead he gets up to the second floor. Finally he sees Dr. Roy coming out in a heroic fashion carrying his wife, and he has the This actor, he's a great character actor, but however, he needs to pay somehow. He can't be left scot-free, still having everything intact. He tells Dr. Roy, oh, let me carry my wife, and he does. The complicated thing with Dr. Roy, he has his own storyline and he wants to find his birth parents. So he has that side storyline, and on top of that, he's interested in Dr. Cha, but looking at it believably, Dr. Cha's not in the mind space to be looking for another love interest. Right now, she's trying to deal with whether she's going to divorce her husband. And I don't like the attitude of the son per se. The daughter's more compassionate, but the son keeping quiet per se, but Dr. Cha seems to be fine all of that. But of course, she ends up blaming the husband for most of it, because when she finds out about the fight that her daughter had with the other one, she goes to her husband's office and tells him straight up, how much does our daughter know? And then he confesses she knows everything, and of course their son, which makes her go crazy, and she starts ransacking the office. And in that scene, Dr. Roy Kim is hearing, and then he finally knows that Dr. Cha has finally confronted her husband. And there's the other bit that Dr. Roy Kim didn't know about the half-child, but he only came to find out after he sent a mass message to all the medical doctors that since if they have nowhere else to stay, if they can't stay in the dorms, he's leaving his house open. So Dr. Cha has, of course, the dorm is not safe to go back in, and of course she won't be returning back home. She's left in that uncomfortable position of, where do I go now? So the girlfriend of her son suggests, why don't we both go together to Dr. Roy's house? Because at first Dr. Cha's like, this girl looked really even more weird on her side. So it's about, a lot of the part of these episodes is about image. So that's the biggest struggle that she's gonna have to go over. So she goes with the son's girlfriend to Dr. Roy Kim's house. So it's a little bit uncomfortable, and the girlfriend of the son tells Dr. Roy straight up, look, don't miss your chance with Dr. Cha. She's here. I know you like her. And Dr. Roy Kim takes a moment like, oh my god, what do you mean? It's really that somebody had found out. But then he kind of says an indirect way, like, what happens if she'll forgive him, like the husband? I'm still left confused. Like, who? This guy, Dr. Cha's husband, So In-ho, has no redeemable qualities whatsoever. He wants to have it all, because when he got pressured by his mom and his other two children was his decision, he admits openly that he doesn't want to get divorced. I think it's just for the position. If that were to happen, it would come out to light to everybody from the hospital the reason why he got divorced. With Dr. Cha's husband's personality, statures everything for him. And at the end of the episode, ultimately, Dr. Roy Kim and Dr. So In-ho, they finally have a scuffle, like a fight per se, because they're now talk one-on-one in indirect talking that Dr. Roy is interested in his wife, and of course Dr. Cha's husband is trying to make it look like it's something immoral, even though he's been having a second family. And before I close off this episode, one thing that left me a little bit shocked was Dr. Cha's best friend, the plastic surgeon. She kind of tells her, oh, I'm a bit jealous of you that you have this life, so on, but when Dr. Cha says, oh, I like your life, the freedom that you can do so many other things. So anyone who's seen this episode, you let me know why they're giving such conflicting messages, indicating her getting divorced will be even more worse for her than in the position that she's already in. Anyway, as I leave you now, stay safe, leave your comments down below what you thought about episode 11, and as I leave you always,